Most men believe that compliments are the easiest way to get a woman's attention, and while that's not entirely wrong, the reality is that most compliments fall into the same dull, overused category. Telling a woman she's beautiful, gorgeous, cute, or sexy may work to an extent, but it doesn't set you apart. It doesn't make her pause, smile genuinely, and think, wow, he sees something in me others miss. That's where the power of subtle, uncommon compliments comes in, a game changer most men overlook. You see, women hear the same compliments almost daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Whether it's through social media, dating apps, at the gym, or just walking down the street, they are bombarded with statements like "you're beautiful" or "you have nice eyes." These compliments, while harmless, lose their impact when they become predictable and repetitive. They don't spark curiosity, they don't ignite attraction, and they certainly don't make you stand out in a crowd of other men trying to get her attention. The truth is, if you want to capture a woman's attention and stir genuine attraction, you need to go beyond the surface. You need to notice the things others overlook. Complimenting something unexpected shows her that you see her differently, that you're paying attention not just to her looks, but to the subtle, unique details that make her. Imagine this, you're on a date with a woman, and instead of telling her how pretty she looks, something she's probably heard 5 times already that day, you say, "You have this calm confidence about you that's really refreshing." Instantly, her guard lowers. You've complimented her in a way that reaches beneath her appearance. You've made her feel seen, not just looked at. And that feeling, it's rare, it's special, and it leaves an impression that lingers long after your conversation ends. Uncommon compliments go beyond the obvious. They require you to be present, observant, and intentional. It's not about rehearsed lines or cheesy pickup phrases. It's about tuning into her energy, her presence, her mannerisms, and highlighting something that reveals you're actually paying attention. When you do that, it communicates that you're different. You're not approaching her with a hidden agenda or superficial flattery. You're genuinely curious about who she is beyond her looks. Women crave to be noticed beyond their appearance. Compliments that touch on her personality, her intellect, her energy, or her quirks strike a deeper chord. For example, telling her, "I love how passionate you get when you talk about your work," or "Your laugh is infectious, it's hard not to smile when you're around," leaves a lasting impression because it's unexpected. You're not just another guy admiring her face or figure. You're the one appreciating the little things that others miss. Here's the magic of subtle, uncommon compliments. They make her wonder. When a compliment catches her off guard, it triggers curiosity. She starts thinking about you, replaying your words in her mind, wondering what else you might notice about her. It plants a seed of intrigue that keeps you on her radar, even when you're not around. But there's another layer to this. Delivering an uncommon compliment requires confidence and authenticity. You can't fake this. Women are incredibly intuitive. They can sense when a compliment is forced, rehearsed, or insincere. So, for this to work, you have to actually be present with her. Pay attention to her words, her energy, her expressions, and when something stands out to you, let her know naturally, effortlessly. For instance, if you notice that she has a unique sense of humor, say, "You've got this sneaky, witty side. I wasn't expecting that, but I love it." It's subtle, unexpected, and shows you're paying attention. It also invites her to open up more, deepening the connection between you. What's important to remember is that these types of compliments are not about manipulation. They are about genuine connection. You're not trying to say the right thing to impress her. You're simply observing her in a way most men don't, and naturally expressing what stands out to you. That authenticity is what makes you memorable. Another brilliant example of an uncommon compliment is recognizing how she makes others feel. You could say, "I noticed how you made that waiter smile. You've got a way of making people feel comfortable." This kind of compliment shows you're observant, kind-hearted, and appreciate qualities beyond the physical. It reflects emotional maturity, and that's deeply attractive. The key here is subtlety. These compliments don't need to be grand, dramatic, or exaggerated. In fact, the more casual and offhand they seem, the more impact they carry. They should sound like an honest observation rather than a rehearsed pickup line. That relaxed, confident delivery tells her you're comfortable in your own skin, and that confidence, paired with your ability to see her differently, is what makes her pay attention. It's also worth noting that uncommon compliments work beautifully in long-term relationships, not just initial attraction. They reignite connection, remind her you're still paying attention, and keep the spark alive. A woman who feels genuinely seen and appreciated for her unique qualities is a woman who feels valued, and when a woman feels valued, her attraction to you deepens. In the end, subtle, uncommon compliments are your secret weapon. They bypass the predictable, surface-level attention most women get and dive straight into meaningful, memorable interaction. They show that you're not here to impress her with empty flattery, you're here to truly see her. And when a woman feels seen, really seen, that's when the magic happens. That's when attraction grows, curiosity builds, and suddenly, you're not just another guy, you're the one she can't stop thinking about. Physical attraction may be the spark that gets two people to notice each other, but emotional chemistry is the flame that keeps the connection alive and irresistible. The problem is, most men focus entirely on the surface, the way a woman looks, the way she dresses, the way she smiles, and forget that true, lasting attraction runs much deeper. Compliments that simply admire a woman's appearance might make her smile politely, but compliments that trigger her emotions make her heart race, her mind curious, and her desire to know you grow stronger. Women, whether they openly admit it or not, crave emotional connection. It's wired into human psychology. When you tap into her emotions, when you make her feel something unique, exciting, or meaningful, you become unforgettable. And one of the simplest, yet most powerful ways to trigger emotional chemistry is through the compliments you give. Think about this. When you tell a woman you're beautiful, it's nice, sure, but how many times has she heard that before? Probably countless times. It's expected. It's a surface-level statement. It doesn't reveal anything about you as a man, nor does it show her that you see anything beyond her outer shell. But what happens when you say something like, "You have this energy that makes the whole room feel warmer, I can't explain it, but it's powerful"? That's not just a compliment, that's an invitation to emotion. That compliment reaches into her world and says, "I see something special in you that others miss." It triggers curiosity, intrigue, and most importantly, it makes her feel. When a woman feels seen, valued, and appreciated for something beyond her looks, her brain releases chemicals associated with emotional bonding: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. These are the same chemicals responsible for deep attraction and connection. It's science, plain and simple, and the right compliment, delivered with authenticity, can kickstart that powerful process. The beauty of triggering emotional chemistry is that it bypasses superficial attraction and creates a foundation for something more profound. It also distinguishes you from every other man who only notices what's obvious. Most men, unfortunately, never learn this. They stay stuck in the same loop of telling a woman how pretty her eyes are, how gorgeous her dress looks, how cute her smile is. While those compliments aren't necessarily bad, they lack depth. They don't spark emotion. They don't challenge her or intrigue her. They simply acknowledge what's already visible. But when you step beyond that, when you use compliments to stir her emotions, everything changes. Compliments like, "The way your mind works is seriously attractive, I can tell you're not like most people," or "I love how passionate you get when you talk about what matters to you," hit differently. They reach into her core. They tell her you're paying attention not just to her appearance, but to her essence. What most men overlook is that women are incredibly emotional beings. It's not just about how you make her look in your eyes, but how you make her feel about herself when she's around you. When your words uplift her, spark curiosity, or inspire a sense of being unique, you become emotionally magnetic. But it doesn't stop at the words you say. Your energy, your presence, your delivery all play a role in amplifying emotional chemistry. You can't fake this. A forced, rehearsed compliment feels empty. But a compliment that comes from genuine observation, spoken with relaxed confidence, creates a moment of emotional connection that lingers in her memory. The reason forbidden compliments are so effective in triggering emotional chemistry is that they go against the norm. They are unexpected. They challenge her perception of how men interact with her. Instead of feeling objectified or reduced to her looks, she feels seen, respected, and desired on a deeper level. That experience is rare, and rarity always sparks attraction. Let's take an example. Imagine you're talking to a woman, and after a fun, flowing conversation, you say, "I have to be honest, your confidence is a little intimidating, and I find it ridiculously attractive." That simple compliment is layered with emotion. You're being vulnerable by admitting she intimidates you slightly, which shows strength, not weakness. You're acknowledging a quality beyond physical beauty, and you're delivering it in a playful, bold, yet respectful way. That stirs her emotions. She feels admired, powerful, curious, and perhaps a little intrigued by you. Here's the thing, women are intuitive. They know when a man sees them as a whole person versus just a body. Compliments that target her mind, her energy, her passion, her sense of humor, these are the compliments that make her feel understood. And when a woman feels understood, walls come down, connection builds, and emotional chemistry ignites. It's also important to recognize that emotional compliments aren't about manipulation. They're about authenticity. You can't just say these things to get a reaction. You have to genuinely observe and appreciate these qualities in her. That sincerity is what makes the compliment powerful and believable. When done right, these compliments bypass her logical defenses and appeal directly to her emotional world. In relationships, whether new or long-term, emotional compliments are essential. They remind her you're paying attention, that you value more than just her appearance, and that you see the unique qualities that make her stand out. They build emotional intimacy, strengthen attraction, and create the kind of connection that keeps her invested in you. Ultimately, triggering emotional chemistry through compliments is not about having slick lines or fancy words. It's about presence, observation, and authentic appreciation for the things that truly matter to her, the things that make her her. When you master that, you'll discover that true attraction is never just skin deep. It's rooted in emotion, connection, and the undeniable chemistry that only deep, thoughtful compliments can unlock. There's something undeniably powerful about mystery. It draws people in, sparks curiosity, and keeps them wanting more. Now, when it comes to compliments, most men play it safe. They stick to the obvious, the smile, the eyes, the outfit, and while those compliments might be appreciated, they rarely ignite real attraction. But compliments that carry an element of mystery and boldness, those are in a league of their own. They don't just flatter a woman, they captivate her. They make her wonder about you, think about you, and crave to know more. The forbidden compliments work because they dance on the edge. They have just enough boldness to suggest interest, just enough mystery to keep her curious, and just enough restraint to avoid coming across as needy or desperate. It's like walking a fine line between confidence and challenge, and when done right, it's irresistible. Let me explain why this works so well. Human beings, women especially, are naturally drawn to what feels slightly out of reach. When something is handed to us on a silver platter, it often loses its allure. But when there's an element of uncertainty, a playful challenge, or a hidden meaning beneath the words, it activates our curiosity. We lean in. We want to figure it out. We want to decode the person standing in front of us. That's exactly what forbidden compliments do. They're not obvious. They're not the same recycled lines she's heard before. Instead, they suggest that you see her differently, that you notice something others miss, and that you're confident enough to say it without laying all your cards on the table. Take a compliment like, "There's something dangerous about you. I should probably stay away, but I won't." That isn't just words, that's intrigue. You're playfully suggesting she's trouble, the good kind of trouble, and at the same time, you're showing you're bold enough to flirt with that danger. It sparks immediate curiosity. She's wondering, what does he see in me? What does he mean by dangerous? And just like that, her mind is engaged. You're no longer just another guy giving her a boring compliment, you're a puzzle, a challenge, an invitation to something exciting. But boldness is equally important here. Many men are so afraid of rejection or offending a woman that they overthink every word, every move, and end up coming across as awkward or overly cautious. Women pick up on that instantly. They can sense uncertainty a mile away, and uncertainty kills attraction. On the other hand, when you deliver a forbidden compliment with calm, unshakable confidence, you project a powerful message. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to enjoy this moment, speak my mind, and if you like it, great. If not, I'm still good. That energy is magnetic. It shows you're secure, comfortable in your own skin, and not afraid to be a little bold. And guess what? That's exactly the kind of energy that makes women drool because it's rare. It's not about arrogance or being disrespectful. Let's be clear, forbidden doesn't mean crossing boundaries or being inappropriate. It means knowing how to flirt at a higher level, where you can tease, challenge, and intrigue a woman without being crude or offensive. It's a subtle art that combines mystery, confidence, and playful charm. Here's another example. You've got this quiet confidence, like you know exactly how much power you have, and you enjoy watching people figure it out. That compliment isn't directly about her appearance. It's about her energy, her presence, and it implies you're seeing something others might not. It also carries a playful challenge. You're acknowledging her power, but in a way that suggests you're not intimidated, you're intrigued. The forbidden compliment works because it shifts the dynamic. Instead of putting her on a pedestal and showering her with predictable praise, you're creating a space where there's curiosity, playfulness, and even a little tension. You're saying, "I see you. I notice the things others miss, and I'm bold enough to say it." That creates an electric atmosphere, one where attraction thrives. Mystery also protects your value. When you reveal everything about yourself too quickly, your intentions, your feelings, your admiration, you lose the advantage of curiosity. But when you deliver a compliment that leaves room for interpretation, that invites her to engage, question, and explore, you instantly become more intriguing. She starts to wonder about you, your story, your confidence, your intentions. And that wondering, that's the foundation of attraction. Women love men who can walk the line between confident and mysterious, between bold and respectful. It shows depth. It shows self-awareness. And most importantly, it shows you're not afraid to stir the pot a little, to flirt in a way that feels different, exciting, and just a little bit forbidden. But here's the catch: timing and delivery are everything. You can't blurt out a forbidden compliment nervously or with forced bravado. It has to come from a place of calm, natural confidence. Make eye contact. Keep your tone light, maybe even with a subtle smirk. Let your body language do the talking. Relaxed posture, open gestures, steady presence. That's how the compliment lands with impact. In the end, forbidden compliments are powerful because they combine mystery and boldness in a way that most men never dare to try. They create a moment of emotional electricity, spark curiosity, and make a woman feel seen in a different light. When you master this, you stop being just another guy handing out compliments. You become the man who intrigues her, excites her, and leaves her wanting more. And that, my friend, is how real attraction begins. The difference between a compliment that makes a woman smile and one that makes her truly attracted to you often comes down to one word: delivery. You could have the most charming, well-thought-out compliment in the world, but if your delivery is awkward, insincere, or worse, creepy, it falls flat or even backfires. That's why respectful confidence is absolutely essential. Forbidden compliments by nature flirt with boldness, playfulness, and mystery, but they only work if delivered with the right energy, tone, and intent. Otherwise, they come across as inappropriate or make her feel uncomfortable instead of intrigue. Confidence in this context doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean walking up to a woman like you own the place or acting as if you're better than her. True confidence is quiet, calm, and rooted in self-respect. It's the belief that you're enough as you are, that you don't need to prove yourself or seek validation from her reaction. This type of confidence is incredibly attractive because it communicates that you're secure, composed, and not easily rattled. When you deliver a forbidden compliment with respectful confidence, you create a moment where she feels flattered, curious, and perhaps even a little challenged, but never disrespected or objectified. That's a delicate balance that most men struggle to master because they either lean too far into being overly cautious, coming across as timid or unsure, or they swing in the opposite direction, being too aggressive or forward, which feels invasive or creepy. Let me paint the difference with a simple scenario. Imagine you're at a social gathering and you notice a woman who carries herself with undeniable poise. Most men either stare awkwardly, say nothing, or walk over and blurt out a generic compliment about her appearance. But if you walk over, maintain relaxed eye contact, and with a small, knowing smile say, "You've got this energy like you secretly run the whole room, don't you?" That's a forbidden compliment delivered with respectful confidence. Notice what's happening there. You're being bold, a little cheeky, even slightly teasing, but it's rooted in observation and respect. You're not commenting on her body in an objectifying way. You're complimenting her presence, her vibe. The delivery, calm, playful, with steady eye contact, is what makes it land perfectly. She feels seen, flattered, and intrigued, not uncomfortable. The respect part is crucial because, without it, bold compliments can easily veer into inappropriate territory. Respect means you're tuned into her body language, her comfort level, and the social context. If she seems closed off, uninterested, or uneasy, you don't push. You don't force the interaction or overstep boundaries. Confident men can read the room and adjust accordingly. They understand that attraction is a two-way street, and they're secure enough to walk away if the interest isn't mutual. Another important element of respectful confidence is tone. Your tone carries more weight than your actual words. You could say the most harmless compliment, but if your tone is aggressive, sarcastic, or overly intense, it triggers discomfort. On the other hand, even a bold, slightly provocative compliment, when delivered with a calm, warm, playful tone, feels exciting rather than threatening. Women are incredibly intuitive when it comes to tone. They can tell instantly if your energy is playful and confident or if it's insecure and overcompensating. Your body language matters just as much. Confident posture, standing tall, relaxed shoulders, steady eye contact. Genuine smile conveys that you're comfortable in your own skin. Fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, crossing your arms, or leaning in too aggressively sends mixed signals that undermine your words. The most magnetic men master their presence first. Their words are simply the final touch. Respectful confidence also shows up in how you handle her reaction. Maybe she smiles, maybe she blushes, maybe she playfully teases you back. Great, lean into the moment, keep the energy light, and enjoy the interaction. But maybe she gives you a polite smile and turns away, or she doesn't seem engaged. A man with respectful confidence doesn't get defensive, angry, or try to force the situation. He simply smiles, says fair enough, and moves on with grace. That self-assuredness, the ability to respect her response without letting it affect your self-worth, makes you even more attractive, ironically. Women are constantly navigating the world with their guard up, filtering interactions to separate genuine, confident men from those who are either too timid or too aggressive. When you operate with respectful confidence, you lower her defenses. You show her you're not there to pressure or impress her, but to enjoy a real, playful, respectful connection. That alone puts you miles ahead of most men. The truth is, forbidden compliments aren't for the faint of heart. They require a certain level of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and, above all, respect. But when you combine those qualities with calm, natural confidence, you unlock a style of flirting that's magnetic and hard to resist. Respectful confidence isn't about being perfect. It's not about delivering a compliment with robotic precision. It's about being present, being genuine, and allowing your words to flow naturally, backed by positive intent. It's understanding that attraction isn't built solely on words, but on energy, the energy of certainty, curiosity, and care. In the end, women don't remember the exact words you say as much as they remember how you made them feel. When your forbidden compliment is wrapped in boldness, but grounded in respect, and delivered with quiet, unwavering confidence, you leave her feeling seen, appreciated, and intrigued. That's the true art of attraction, making her feel safe enough to be curious, respected enough to open up, and intrigued enough to want more. That's how real, lasting chemistry begins.